Hi everyone, this is Rachelle Mee-Chapman. Welcome to Relig-ish, where we help you move through spiritual shifts and create right fit practices that are in alignment with your true values. Today on Relig-ish, we're going to talk about sex. I posted this article from salon.com called My Virginity Mistake by Jessica Henriquez. I hope I'm saying her name right. And I posted it on my personal Facebook page, which is friends and family and mostly SBNR, spiritual but not relig-ish types. And it barely caused a ripple. I think a lot of people who read my personal page have already processed through some of the stuff that they were taught when they were kids. I posted it on my Magpie Girl fan page, my business page, and my normal viewership for posts on that page is about 200 per post. The viewership on that went up to almost like 2,000 views, and little bit of chatter going on there from viewers who were appalled that I would post anything that even hinted that virginity was not the 100% right choice for everyone. And then some really thoughtful comments as well from people who begged to differ and who said that the abstinence only curricula that they were taught as youth in the church actually was damaging to them. And that was really interesting to me. So I just thought, I'm just going to talk about that a little bit here at Relig-ish, and then hopefully you guys will ask me follow-up questions and we can have a dialogue about sexuality and faith in a post-church world. So back to the Salon article, which is right there for you. In that article, Jessica tells a personal story about how she was exposed to the True Love Waits curriculum as a young person. Now, the True Love Wait curriculum is you actually wear a ring, you get married to Jesus, you promise to be celibate and to protect your virginity until marriage. It's very popular among evangelical and fundamentalist circles. Lots of youth groups, lots of private Christian schools teach this material. Now, the problem with this material is it's not always, I imagine there's some versions of it that don't do this, but almost all of the celibacy, abstinence only materials that are taught in religious circles have a big component of shame and fear. So they'll say things like, if you have sex before marriage, you're like a dirty toothbrush. And what man is going to want to use a dirty toothbrush later in life? And it is almost always phrased that way, right? Like for the gentleman, there's a little bit of a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You'll be easily forgiven. But for a woman, you're really freaking ruined if you have sex before marriage. That's part of the curriculum. Another part of the curriculum is this fear around STDs, unwanted pregnancies. Of course you can't get an abortion in these circles. So that's the worst thing that could ever happen in the world. And so what we're doing is we're taking these young people at a very formative time in their life. We're pretty much taking a few scriptures from an ancient culture that had different needs and different norms, applying it to a modern and postmodern culture thousands of years later. And then on top of that misapplication, we're putting shame and fear, and we're saying sex is a dirty, rotten, horrible thing you save for the one you love. Then we're expecting young people to get married and to have a successful and happy sex life without shame, without hang up, without inhibition. And we are not creating a forum where anybody can bring that up or get help or guidance because there's so much shame and secrecy around sex and intimacy. So I ask you this. If the primary message of faith is shalom, can we move towards wholeness? Can we, depending on which branch of faith you're a part of, it's about moving towards compassion. It's about moving towards being more Christ-like. It's about moving towards shalom, wholeness, healing. How do we do that when we indoctrinate our young people from the get-go with messages of shame and fear around something as core as their sexuality? I just want us to get curious about that. And I want you to start thinking, please, if you would, about the messages that you received growing up, either in church or just in our Judeo-Christian Protestant culture, about your body, about sexuality. about danger and sexuality. Get curious about your history around that, and tell me some stories, if you would, about the messages you've received and how they impacted you later in life, or maybe the messages you received and the messages that you wish to pass on to your kids. Let's get a dialogue going, because there is need of healing around this, and there is need of, we don't want to have a crisis of imagination about what we teach people about the sacred nature of humanness and the way that humanness connects with another human in sex. Like, we don't want to be sloppy about what we say and what we teach around that. It's too important. So I hope that you will comment in the comments, or that you will write to me at Rachelle@magpiegirl.com and give me your thoughts, your questions. Ask me my opinion on things. I really want us to get a good discussion going around this. Not a debate. A debate is when two parties come into the room and they each are firmly affixed in their point of view, and they try to get the other person to come over to their side, okay? You can come in firmly affixed to your point of view. That's totally authentic. But what we need to do is have a listening posture to hear each other's stories, to ask good questions, and to expand our understanding of each other, and maybe experience a shift in our understanding of ourselves and our sexuality. So I hope you'll engage with me around that. I'm really looking forward to it. So until we meet again, I hope that you will get curious, trust your gut, and whatever you do, live from a place of love. Amen? Amen.